Welcome to Kings of Opinion, Episode 6 with Pugs and the Wanderer.
Welcome, we hope you're doing well.
Right, coming to you from Wandering Pug Studios in Belrose. So, I was going to jump right into one of the biggest trades for the Jets, but I'm going to put that on pause real quick.
Okay.
Because I have to go on a little bit of a rant today. So I'm coming home from work, driving from Manhattan to Queens, and I really don't think people know how to drive anymore in this city. I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know if it's the elected officials or the DMV just doesn't test like they used to. But I remember when I took my driving classes in high school and then took the road test, everyone told you how to merge, especially on highways. Highways is probably one of the most dangerous places to merge, and people are almost like they get upset and pissed off when you're supposed to merge. And the proper way to merge is 1 and 1, which is meaning like one
Simple
car on the left, one on the right, right?
Seems easy enough.
Correct. However, they get pissed off and they feel like you're cutting them off. And I can't understand why. You go from 2 lanes to 1 lane, you're not getting cut off. You let somebody in, someone behind you lets somebody in. That's it. There's no honking, there's no, cursing you out, there's no giving you dirty looks and wanting to start like some kind of fight or road rage. I don't understand today's drivers.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe everybody's out for themselves, I guess, not thinking of others. I don't know.
I just don't get it. And what makes it worse is when you drive in the city too, it's not just regular drivers, it's buses, it's taxis, they stop where they want, they double park, they pull out without looking, especially buses, like they're on some kind of time schedule and they're supposed to be driving safe, and yet they just pull out. And this is like a 30-foot bus that could crush you into a wall. You know what I mean? And tractor trailers and all this other stuff. Like, I don't get it, right? Like, please, give me a little bit of insight so I don't go crazy tomorrow when I'm coming home from work and bumper to bumper traffic, or even if there's no traffic.
Well, I mean, I guess, maybe people are a little edgy, so that could also contribute to the, I guess, how you said everybody's, just in the rush to the same spot, nobody wants to let anybody in, but do you ever think of maybe like doing a guided meditation in the car or something like that while in that situation?
If I do, I'll probably wind up crashing into one of these cars because I won't be paying attention. All I know is I was in an accident a few months ago, or now it's almost been 6 months, but ever since then I'm more observant of everywhere and I try to pay attention to more. All I see are people like that, either they think they have sports cars or just drive recklessly. Like, even today, I'm on the Grand Central and 2 cars are following each other and weaving in and out of traffic, probably going like 80, 90 miles an hour. God forbid someone else isn't paying attention and you clip them, it's almost instant death, which nobody wants to see.
Yeah.
And then God only knows what kind of other stuff could happen from something like that, And I'll be honest with you, when I had a sports car, I used to be kind of one of those people. I am no longer one of those people because I've learned. But it goes back to my original point. Who is teaching like these driving classes and who is giving these road tests? Is it someone that's just not paying attention, just checking off the boxes? Like maybe one of the tests instead of parallel parking, because that shouldn't be as big of a deal and you shouldn't get points taken off as much for that is. Maybe you throw them on a highway and maybe you see if they can actually merge and drive on the highway.
Right.
Because there's so many things that could go wrong on a highway. You got someone driving in the left lane going 40. You got someone in the right lane going 85. And everywhere in between. Like, people need to know, if you're in the left lane, historically, it's to go faster than, like, the normal speed limit and to pass. Middle lane, you're chilling out. Right lane, you're going slow. You know what I mean? But do they even say that anymore? Or are they just like, here are the keys. Here's your driver's license. Go out there and get into an accident, folks, because the insurance companies will love it. Everyone's insurance will go up in New York City. I don't get it. Drives me nuts. But I guess that's the end of my rant. I think that cooled me out.
You feel good?
I feel good. I mean, you got anything else to add before we move along? Because I could keep going, but I don't want to bore everyone else out there in YouTube land about driving. But let me know if I'm the only one. Because I know anyone in a major city probably deals with this every day too. Or if you're driving long distances on highways, you see it every day. and people just are about to explode, and it's probably not good for the overall traffic scene in any major city. So, I don't know.
Yeah, comment. Let him know what you think.
Yeah, and maybe we could reach out to someone that's responsible for this. I don't know if it's like I said, if it's the DMV or councilman or whoever. You know, they put in these cameras to stop speeding, this, that, and the other. That's all well and good. All it is a money grab for them. It doesn't help for anything else. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I digress, I guess. But after that rant, right now we got a lot going on in New York City. We got the Rangers and Devils playing right now. The playoff game, the series is what, 2-1, and this is to be either 3-1 or 2-2 or tied up. They're playing in the Garden, and right now the Rangers are losing 1-0 early on in the second period. So I guess throughout the show we'll keep you updated if anything happens. Wander will pay attention to it, or I will, and we'll figure it out and we'll get it out there to you. We have the Yankees playing today. So they're playing the Twins. It's early on in that game, and we'll give you score updates on that hopefully as well. So with that being said, I think we have super big news finally. You know, do you want to say it or do you want me to say it?
Oh, is that the football news you're talking
Yeah,
about?
come on, give it to us. Give it to us. Let's go. Everyone wants to know what's happening if they don't already know.
I think you're alluding to the Aaron Rodgers signing.
The one and only. There's nothing else more important right now in football land. The NFL has great news today, 2 days before, or I guess technically 3 days before the draft. The draft is on Thursday.
The draft is this week.
Yeah, it's on Thursday.
Look at that.
Yeah. So everyone will go watch that because that's always fun to see what your team is going to get or what they miss out on, and then we can talk about all that hopefully next week on if they made good picks or didn't make good picks for the teams that we care about here in the city. But so Rodgers is finally done. That saga ends today, you know, a couple days before May, which everyone thought it might go to June, but it didn't. It ends on the 24th of April. And the deal, I don't know if you got to see it, so I'm going to throw it out there.
Hit me with it.
So the Jets get Rodgers. They swap first round picks. So they give Packers their 13th pick, and they get the Packers' 15th pick. And then the Jets also get a 5th round pick, which is 170. And Green Bay gets, like I said, the 13th pick. They get a 2nd round pick, which is number 42, which is their own pick, not the one they got from the Packers, I believe, for the wide receiver Moore. And they get a 6th round pick in this year, which is pick number 207. And they get a conditional 2024 2nd round pick that could become a 1st round pick if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays, which is almost a guarantee, which means next year the Green Bay Packers, unless barring a serious injury for Rodgers, they get a 1st round pick in next year's draft. So, I mean, it depends how you want to look at that. If the Jets do really good this year, it could be a high-end 1st round pick. If the season winds up being a disaster, it could be a very high pick, early 1st round. So I was listening to The Fan on my way home today while dealing with this whole traffic and craziness of merging on highways. And what they were saying is the only thing they didn't secure themselves is if Rodgers retires, I guess that 2nd round pick that could become a 1st next year, the Packers basically get a 1st round pick anyway, as long as he pays 65%. So there's no safety net for them for the following year if he doesn't play, which is, I guess, what was holding them up these couple months after he said he'd want to play with the Jets. So other than that, did they win? Did they lose? I mean, you tell me. What are you thinking on the deal so far?
Yeah, no, I think, listen, that's what's been the Jets' problem forever. Quarterback. For whatever reason, they just haven't been able to get someone or draft someone that's really panned out. I mean, even Sanchez, no disrespect to him, but what did he really do? Not a whole lot.
No, not much. I mean, they did go to 2 AFC Championship games back-to-back years, back in the early 2000s, but that was really more a compliment of their defense those 2 years than it being much of like a quarterback offensive play.
And handing the ball off, yeah.
Right. So I believe they had LaDainian Tomlinson back then too. Either them or Curtis Martin. I'm not really sure at the moment.
Maybe both.
Yeah, but yeah. So I think it might be too early to say who's a winner or loser. But listen, at the end of the day, I think if you consider this an overall win, like you can't guess what's going to happen in the season. You could just, it's like any other sport. You put out the best team you can, and you kind of hope for the best. No injuries. If they play well, if everyone clicks, I mean that's going to be an adjustment. But I guess signing him now or trading for him now gives them an extra couple months, as opposed to like if they were on June 1st. Like now he could go to Jersey, he can meet everybody, which I'm sure he's met some people already. Obviously, like the executives for the Jets, but like meet the team, teammates, maybe go through the playbooks and all that stuff, and just get that going. That'll help tremendously, I think, for next year, just being ahead of the game. And he's a smart guy. They say he's great with stuff like that. So I don't see a negative right now, unless, like I said, knock on wood, he gets hurt. Then you're back to square one. Zach Wilson is your starting quarterback, and then who knows what's going to happen with that. But, you know, they're saying they make him an instant Super Bowl contender right now. So every Jet fan out there should be kind of happy right now, which I think is a good thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they have a good defense and then you throw Rodgers in there. That's a dynamic offense. I mean, you know, you gotta like their chances.
Yeah, he was the missing piece of the puzzle. You know, he's like the missing artifact to, bringing the treasure home. So as long as he stays healthy and he can play like the Aaron Rodgers of, I guess 2 years ago, because last year he kind of, I guess, in most people's minds had a down year, but, the Packers weren't a cohesive team last year as much as they were in years past. But either which way, I think he's going to come over here with the young talent we have on both sides of the ball. And then depending on this draft, who knows who they're going to get. I mean, I hope they get a lot of offensive linemen, like I was saying early on in one of our shows. But they know their holes. They know their needs. If they go out there and fill them, I think it'll be a very good season for them. And, he'll be able to play with the best of them. As long as they get into the playoffs, it's anyone's game at that point. You see teams that are underdogs go all the way to the Super Bowl, like a couple of years ago the Bengals did. So, I mean, sports in general right now in New York is great. We're watching a playoff game right now.
Did you want to touch on anything on the draft?
Not yet. I haven't really
I just
focused on.
Yeah, no, I just pulled up a mock if you had any, interest or.
Oh, if you got some stuff, go ahead, shoot it out, because I really don't follow the college football scene until later on.
Let's see. We'll go over the Jets pick.
Oh, like what they're projected to get?
Yeah.
Is that up to date since they got Rodgers now that they dropped 2 spots?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let's get it.
Okay. They are expected. Oh no, Oh no, that's Green Bay. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Green Bay. Okay, here we go. The Jets. Round 1, pick 15. Darnell Wright, tackle, out of Tennessee.
Okay.
Offensive lineman is always a good thing to have, right?
Absolutely. The more depth there, the better. You got to protect that man.
Yeah, it looks like a decent review for him. So.
What are they saying about him? Anything? Is he outstanding in certain things? Do they give him a full thing?
It's pretty much positive, So.
Well, as long as he's a good blocker. Do they say he's a good blocker?
Yes.
That's all we care about. I don't care if he's super slow. As long as he could block somebody, that's all I literally care about.
Just for fun, I'm gonna check Dallas. Here we go.
Myself.
All right. Round 1, pick 26. Jack Campbell out of Iowa. These are just mock picks.
Right, of course.
We're just checking it out.
I mean, we're only a couple days away, so we're gonna find out sooner rather than later.
He's the linebacker. I mean, Cowboys.
Always need defense.
They always seem to draft decent ones lately too.
And they definitely need defense.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens, and we'll have more on the draft next week.
Oh yeah, that's good news. So next week will be a full preview of all the good picks for, I guess, Dallas, Giants, Jets, and any other teams we might want to touch on. Moving along to, I guess we'll go to baseball next, right, pal?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, we'll start with over the weekend, the Mets played the Giants, and they started off their road trip super hot. They went in and played Oakland. They swept them. Then they played the Dodgers and won 2 out of 3. Now, I told Steve that in order for it to be a successful trip, they would kind of have to go at least 7-3 because they should beat up on the A's, maybe win 1 or 2 with the Dodgers, which they did. And then coming into the Giants, it was almost a letdown because they split the 4-game series.
Right.
So the Mets wind up winning the first 2 games against the Giants. So they were 7-1 on the road trip. And if you ask me, going into the last 2 games, you split. You're 8-2, fantastic road trip, right? But then they wind up losing the last 2. So they wind up getting to the 7-3, which is what I would expect them to do on that trip.
Right.
So no harm, no foul, right? But most people would have said going into those last 2 games, being 7-1, you probably should have took 3 out of 4 from the Giants and made it 8-2. What are you gonna do? I guess, right? You're a big Met fan. How did you feel about the road trip ending over the weekend and how they did overall?
I didn't watch a ton of it. I did watch a little bit Friday night. I'm glad that they're playing well early on,
Right.
especially without Verlander and
And now Scherzer's suspended for 10
I
games.
forgot about. I think that I was alluding to that, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if that was the case.
No, definitely talk about that.
Did you see also with that umpire how I think I sent like the meme to the group where it's one umpire and everyone that got caught that week, it was by him.
Yeah.
So
I think it was 3, right?
I think it was 5. Yeah, 3 or 5.
Right.
Anyway, just a little kind of weird.
A little fugazi is what you're saying, right?
Something's up there, I would say. But it's different, I guess, especially with like the timing and everything too, right? Like it's short. They have less time now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm not really sure how I got there. But how about the your squad, the Bronx Bombers?
Before we get to the Yankees, because I was very disappointed with the Yankees.
Touch on
I wanted to touch on the Scherzer thing for a second. So I was watching some videos of, I guess, ex-pitchers or guys that are still pitching maybe in the minor leagues or what have you. I think one of them was Trevor Bauer. He wanted to show the difference as just using rosin as opposed to, he didn't try the spider tech, but he wanted to, I guess, illustrate how if you have the ball with nothing on your hand, it doesn't stick. You let go of your hand, it just drops. And then when you use sweat and you rosin your hands up, how it sticks to your hand. Like it doesn't immediately fall out of your hand. So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of pitchers know this because you've been pitching all your life and like that's the thing. And rosin's illegal. I mean, rosin is legal, I should say. You're allowed to use it. It's supposed to dry your hands up a little bit, just give you a little grip, but it's not like the spider tech where like it's super sticky and this, that, and the other thing. Like I know a lot of weightlifters use spider tech because it helps them grab the weights and the barbells a lot better, and it's good for their form and whatnot, and they don't slip. But the rosin actually does, at least unless he's doing a trick on a video on YouTube or TikTok or wherever I saw it, it actually sticks to your hand. So I think it's something that MLB wasn't prepared for,
Right.
and
It's just something they never addressed.
right. And I don't know if they're gonna address it, and I don't know if this guy was like made to address. Like, you don't know whatever happens behind the scenes with these major any company, let alone the sports world, where they could finagle this, finagle that.
Was he going to be the guy to deliver the message?
Right. Like, is he the one always hunting for it because maybe he has a thing for it, or is he being told, hey, check these guys? Because, like you said, whether it was 3 guys or 5 guys in a week, the guy only probably like umps, like 3 to 5 in a week, especially behind home plate.
Right.
So that means every time he goes out there, he's nailing somebody for this, and then nobody else is.
Right.
That's kind of strange to me. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Hopefully, baseball always messes something up.
Yeah.
They always try to do their best they can, and I guess we all appreciate it as fans. So
is it still baseball when they request request that the pitcher wash his hands or something like that.
Right.
You know.
I mean, I don't know. Like, and then you have Scherzer on the other hand, swearing over his kids that he washed his hands and he wasn't doing what they say he was doing, but he still gets suspended anyway. Like, is the league sending a message because they also had like an MLB official that was going to arbitrate that case, so he kind of gave up and just took the suspension. Like, there's just a lot of holes for something that's like so simple. You know what I mean? Like, it could have got appealed, maybe dropped down to like him just really basically missing a start. He wound up giving up on it. Like, what is going on? And I guess it's going to fall by the wayside now because no one wants to deal with it. And I guess like with all the other attention in New York sports right now, maybe it's just going to get a back seat and it's just going to disappear. And he's going to do his 10 games, and then he's going to come out and he's going to pitch, and hopefully he pitch well for the Mets. But
I'm sure he's appealing, right?
he's not. He took it. He took it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's just weird. You're swearing that you didn't do it, or like you didn't like do it intentionally or whatever, or you washed your hands. And supposedly there was an MLB official watching him wash his hands. So like, if you had that, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
You appealed. That guy comes to your aid and he's like, yeah, he washed his hands. I don't know what you're talking about.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. So I don't understand how that works. Whatever. We're probably never gonna get an answer, but it is what it is, I guess, at this point. So I guess we'll move along to the Yankees now. Kind of disappointed over their weekend. They were home against the Blue Jays, and they just, for the most part, looked lifeless.
Wow.
Like, they didn't hit much. Besides the one game that they won, it was in extra innings, and DJ LeMahieu came through with a 10th inning single to win the game. But even in that game, it was like 0-0 to the 8th. The rookie shortstop Volpe hit a big time 2-run home run, so it was 2-0. But then the bullpen gave it right back in the 9th, so it was 2-2. And then we went into it was either the bottom of the 9th or the 10th, and DJ comes up with a pinch hit single and wins the game. And that was the only game they won. Otherwise, the Blue Jays handled business, and that's not a good thing. It's a rival. It's almost like the Mets playing the Phillies or the Braves. Now we have the Twins. We're playing the Twins right now.
I mean, the Blue Jays, that offense, they've been formidable for a while, but I guess they're finally putting it together more.
Yeah, so you're 100% right. Their offense has been good for probably like the last 10 years. They were always missing pitching. They got their pitching, like, I guess this weekend. I still don't think their pitching is that good, to be honest with you. But
what was it? The 1-2 punches, what, Manoah and Gaussman?
Yeah, I think that was the last two games. But we wound up we didn't beat Manoah, but the game he pitched, we won.
Okay.
So take that as how you want. Take that as a win, but yeah. I guess it's also more of the lack of, I don't even want to call it depth in the Yankees on the bench, but we have a lot of guys injured. Stanton went down like a week or so ago. I think we talked about that last week, and he's going to be gone for a while. Bader's not back yet. There's just a lot of holes right now, and then other guys aren't hitting. They're slumping. I mean, Aaron Judge didn't have a great homestand, so that's always going to kill you because he's our superstar.
Right.
If he doesn't get going, like, we'll probably lose more games. Like, we're in Minnesota right now. They're another good ball club. We could lose 2 out of 3 to them. So they got to figure out a way to win, and they got to try to either manufacture runs for the time being and hope their pitching can hold up. Because if not, we're going to be in trouble. We're only 13-9. Matter of fact, my dark horse, the Baltimore Orioles, I know it's early, but they're 14-7.
Nice.
They're looking good. I don't want them to look as good. I want them to be second to the Yankees, but right now they're second to the Rays. And the Rays, I don't know if you've been paying attention, are
still crushing it.
Crushing it. I think they're they're 15 or 16-3 right now. Wow. They're going crazy. There's not much you could do with those guys right now. They're on fire. I think they set a record this week with most consecutive home runs in a time span of games. I think it was like 21 games with a home run. Yeah, forget about it. They're 19-3 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hot start out of the gate.
Huge. 19-3. It's crazy.
Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees.
They're the best team in baseball by far.
I remember like their first year in the league. You know, family friend had season tickets, so that's the only reason I knew who they even were. Did they always play at the Tropicana?
Yeah, they're always down there.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of Yankee fans would always go when they were there. Have you taken the trip?
No, not yet. I want to get down there.
Check it out.
Yeah, I want to get down to Tampa Sunday, either for spring training or just for a Tampa Bay game. Because one, the tickets are pretty cheap. Two, it's mostly Yankee fans, so it's almost like a home game.
There you go.
But I mean, if they're playing this good, I don't want to go all the way down there to see the Yankees lose.
Yeah, maybe go see him play somebody else.
Right. You know what? As I was looking at the standings, right? So I'm scrolling through, and I see something that I haven't seen in probably a while. Like I said, it's still early in the season, so this is probably not gonna be like this for much longer.
Let's hear it.
But the Pittsburgh Pirates are 16-7.
Wow.
They're leading the Central right now. I mean, only by a half a game to Milwaukee. But if you told me almost at the end of April, the Pirates would be leading their division, I'd call you crazy, or I'd tell you to play the lotto.
Right.
You know?
I mean, not a team that usually doesn't spend any money and usually not too concerned with winning, but hey.
They're probably right after the Tampa Bay Rays in spending money, even though the Tampa Bay Rays have been doing that like the whole time they've been around, and they just find ways to win.
Well, the Pirates too. You got to remember, like anytime they have anyone of value, they're gone that year, or you know.
Oh, they're gone before they hit free agency. Yeah, 100%.
You know, they just ship them out.
Of course.
Like UPS. You know.
They are. They don't stay around long over there. They ship them out to get more prospects and hopefully hit pay dirt with a couple of them so that they can be good for like a year or two, maybe make the playoffs, make a little bit of money.
Do they
that's
still
it.
have the young outfielder though, right?
Reynolds?
No.
Oh, I don't know the other guy's name.
I can't think of it either.
All right.
Sorry about that.
I guess maybe you'll look that up for the next show.
Yeah, we'll check that out. We're missing stat guy.
Yeah, no Ernie today. Big Ern is out for his kid's confirmation, so we wish him the best of luck. Hope he had a great day. Looks like he did. So we miss you. We'll see you next week, Ern.
Cheers, Ernie.
Cheers. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on right now in baseball, man. The Dodgers aren't in first place, well, they're tied with the Diamondbacks for first place, which is
Diamondbacks, huh?
yeah, which is strange.
That's good for me. For I was in a 13-run pool, and I got them. So
Yeah, you're actually doing pretty good.
some numbers on the board.
You are. You're up towards the top
That's
from
good.
what I saw. We're in the same pool, folks. If you didn't catch on to that yet, so you know, I'm right behind you though with the Red Sox.
All right, hey, listen.
I'm right there.
You want to split it? Let's split it.
If only you could. If only you could. We'd have to split it with everybody. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty much the same. I mean, the Texas Rangers are 14-7 in the West. They're leading the division
Shout
right
out
now.
to Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah, I don't know how he's doing though. I wish I had a little info on him, but you know, no big deal. We'll figure that out down the road.
I'm not petty when it comes to that. I want to see him do well. I feel like he gave a lot to the Mets, and a lot of bitter people are overlooking that.
Wow, you know what's funny? You might be one of the few, because every time they talk about him, they're just like, whatever, he's gone. Who cares?
They're all butthurt.
Yeah, I mean it happens though. Like you lose a good pitcher like that, even though he was hurt a lot. That's he came from your system and now he's gone. That's probably why that hurts a little bit more. Like if he was.
Yeah, but also you gotta have gratitude too.
Yeah.
Like he pitched great for them for a long time at a high level, and to just like not even acknowledge that is pretty disrespectful, in my opinion.
I don't think it's so much that they don't acknowledge it. I just think like he did enough for the franchise, but I guess if he would have won a World Series, it would have been different. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's the only thing he didn't do. Yeah, but that's why I think they're so easy to cast him away, because like how everything went over the winter with the contract, and they really weren't going to give him the money he wanted. So then he just went and got his money. Which, listen,
You gotta get paid, right?
everyone I think would do that. So I don't blame him for getting more money going to the American League. Personally, it doesn't bother me if he does well or not because he was never on my team.
Right.
So
You don't have a dog in the race.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, if he plays against the Yankees, of course I'm going to root against him, and I hope he gets shelled. But other than that, I don't care what he does. And obviously, the Rangers are doing pretty good right now. So after I guess his first start, maybe he's gotten into a rhythm and is doing well. Good for him. But it's just how everything played out in the winter until now. It would have probably went so differently if he didn't get hurt a lot, which obviously you can't do nothing about that.
Right.
But even if he did get hurt and he won the World Series in 2015, which obviously it's not all on him, it's a team game. But if they would have won, maybe they would have signed him. Maybe they gave him the money, took a chance on him getting injured. Or maybe if he did leave, it would have been a nice send-off because it would have got them a World Series that they haven't had since '86. You know?
And it's something I just thought of too, is like the trauma of watching him and Santana too pitch lights out in like, 2-0 game, 1-0 game.
Yeah.
Where the Mets just couldn't even get like more than a hit or two
Right.
for them.
Or get like a run
Just
in the
all
ninth.
these gems just
Wasted.
wasted.
100. You're 100% right. There was so many of those for him, which probably didn't help him either because he probably could have so many more wins. But for whatever reason, the Mets could never score for him, and that probably hurts. That probably hurts him too. Who knows? But I mean, as long as you wish him the best, kudos to him. As long as he doesn't hurt the Yankees, I don't really care. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for the Yankees in baseball today and the Mets. What do we got next? Here we go. So I don't know if you were shocked, but over the weekend, I guess it was 2 games. It was Friday and Sunday. The Knicks, the New York Knicks.
Playing well.
Huh. I mean, playing well, I would say is almost an understatement. Friday, they literally crushed Cleveland. Then Sunday, it was kind of a back and forth game. I didn't get to see the whole game. I saw 3 quarters, then I had to go golf, and then I saw the highlights when I came back. But they were leading by like 15. Cleveland comes out strong in the third, and they come all the way back, and then even go ahead a few points. And I left, and the Knicks were losing by, it was like 2 or 3 points, nothing crazy in basketball. And then they must have had a hell of a fourth quarter, and they won the game. It was like 102 to like 90 or something like that, or 92.
Indeed, they did. I just happened to catch the fourth quarter, so to me it was smooth sailing for the Knicks the whole time. They had, they were up by like a point, or it was tied, or somewhere around there, and then they just took control of the game, and it was double digits, very quickly, and they just pretty much closed it out. So they'll be looking to close out. I guess when tomorrow?
No, it's Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
Wednesday in Cleveland, though, so it's going to be enemy territory. You almost got to assume that Cleveland's going to come out, I don't want to say on fire, but they're going to come out aggressive.
Mitchell will
Yeah.
come out with a vengeance.
Yeah, like it might be like a scene from Die Hard with him. Who knows? Like he's probably going to drop 50. Now, he could drop 50 all day long as long as the Knicks defense could hold everyone else. You could stay in that game because that's what happened in Game 1. They were in Cleveland, and he dropped, I think, around 50 points, and they still lost. So he could drop 100. If you lose, and they're out. Right now they hold a commanding lead 3-1. You kind of want to, I know you'd like to go back to the Garden and close it out, but with any series, the quicker you close it out, the better.
Right on.
You know what I mean? So I don't even want to play any games. They should stay strong, go into Cleveland, and just close it out. I found it weird. Like I said, I didn't see the fourth quarter. Randall sat on the bench for the whole fourth quarter. So I don't know if that was because he's like still hurt and he doesn't have his basketball legs under him, or they just decided like he wasn't having a good game. Let's get some fresh people in.
Right.
But whatever they did and they sat him, it worked. I hope he doesn't go on like these kind of like crazy episodes because of it. He didn't talk to the media after the game. I guess that's good. I mean, I wouldn't want to talk to him after being benched. He might not say some of the best things, and it's probably better he stayed away from the media. But maybe it's a good message. Maybe he comes out strong in the next game, and they close that game out because of it. You know, the Knicks are always going to be the underdog as far as they go the rest of the playoffs. They're probably not now, but even I think at the beginning of the series they were underdogs. So just take that and run with it and try and win as many games as you can, however you can win it. So, I don't know. Hopefully, we're talking about this next week and they're into the next round, because I think by next weekend the round's going to start. So hopefully the Knicks get a win on Wednesday. We don't have to worry about it. Right now, the Ranger game, I think it's still 1-0. It's a tight game. So there's nothing to report there. The Yankee game we got going on, it's 3-0 Minnesota in the third. That's not good with 2 outs.
What do you want to see if you're a Yankees fan?
Nope, definitely not. The Brito, the starting pitcher, is already out of the game, so he didn't last long. So that's awesome. It's going to be a bullpen game for the Yankees, and hopefully they can get some runs and maybe try to come back and win that game, or else they're going to be on a 3-game losing streak, which will be their first 3-game losing streak of the year. What do we got now? So now I guess we're going to move from the Rangers. We briefly talked about them. Not much is going on in the game. To the Islanders. The Islanders had a big game yesterday at UBS. The series was 2-1, but it looked like they got dominated. They lost 5-1. The Hurricanes were in total control. I don't know now what they're gonna do.
So it's 3-1?
It's 3-1 right now, and they're going to Carolina. So what's going to happen down there? They're going to have to win that game to bring it back to, New York. If they don't, it's over, and that'll be a huge disappointment because, the Islanders are a pretty good team too. I know they're underdog there too, but all the games but the last one were close. So I expect them to play hard in the next game. Hopefully they pull out a win to bring it back to New York, and then maybe we could try and tie it up. And then hockey's one of those weird things. Anyone can win in Game 7. So right. I'll take my chances with that, Any input on the Islanders? Aren't you a big Islander fan?
No,
No?
I don't really. I didn't see any of it. No.
No. All right. So I guess now what we'll do is we got any shows we want to talk about for today? Any restaurants we want to plug to see if people want to go out there and eat some good food? You got anything for me?
Yeah, actually, I've been watching a show. I haven't been watching a lot of stuff, but I'm finally getting around to season 2 of Your Honor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
Where are we at in that?
Towards the end, I think. I'm up to like episode 9 or something like that.
So what was the last thing you've seen? Like, what was the last thing that was happening in the show?
Well, a lot was revealed, but I think it's like playing out in court, ironically, where the
Oh, they put the judge on the stand?
I don't think that happened yet.
Okay, so you're a little behind. Okay, well.
But they found out that what's the kid's name? Eugene Jones.
Yeah.
So they found out that they were trying to kill him, and that cop decided to take his own life. So yeah, and what's his the gangster, I forget his name, but he's telling Bryan Cranston that you can go legit now, and it's like when mob guys telling you, yeah, you can work for me. Well, it'll be totally legit.
Jimmy.
Like,
you're talking about Jimmy, right?
Is that his name?
The guy of that owns the hotel,
Yeah,
Baxter.
Good actor too. He was great as what's his name, Arnold Rothstein in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh yeah, he was in that.
Yeah, he was great in that.
Awesome.
So yeah, him telling him, offering him a way out, but it's like, how are you gonna believe that? So definitely looking forward to finishing it up, just to see how they put a bow on it, or tie things together.
So I'm not going to ruin anything for you,
That's good.
but supposedly this is the last season of it.
Well, that's okay because to be honest with you, at the end of the first season, I thought that was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Once the kid gets shot, I'm like, oh, well, that's that. But you know, if there's more, I'm happy. I'm happy that there's more. You know, a lot of good performances all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So looking forward to.
How do you like Rosie Perez in the show?
She's good. She's good at busting balls. That's for sure. You know,
I thought the same thing.
I think they like. Almost think they like, you know, had fun with that. I think one of the first scenes is her at the bar, and you know this takes place in New Orleans. So it's LSU versus Tennessee, I believe.
Yes.
And Tennessee scores a touchdown, and she's, you know, having fun with the whole bar. So
Yeah, she's cheering, and they're like going crazy.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. I like when she just like, kind of like, gets the judge to just slowly like work for her. Like he's like so adamant about not doing it. He's like, take me back to jail, I don't care, whatever, you know, he's cursing. And,
gets him to come around.
And she's like, all I want you to do right now is just play with your grandson, and that's that. And you slowly see like how she just got him to do that one thing.
Transformation.
And he gets in like
yeah.
almost like right away with the other grandfather, Jimmy, who's like the head of the mob down there, and he wants him to be his like cunts in the area. You know what I mean?
He's like, I'll never do your bidding. And then he's actually doing it.
Right, correct. And he's like, you don't have to do anything illegal. I want you to be like my
hey, listen,
my vice man.
He's a guy that he's had to adapt before on the fly, and he seems to be able to do it.
Well, yeah, I think that's what he knows, and he's like, he's good. He knows.
It's just like sorry.
No, it's all good. Jimmy knows that his son can't do that.
Right.
So he knows like his son is gonna like do the underworld type illegal stuff, and he wants to do like the straight ups, the legit stuff with Cranston.
He literally says it to him. He's like, "With your mind," he's like, you know, even though you're disbarred and everything like that, you know,
they can't take the knowledge.
They can't take that.
Yeah.
You got it. So you might as well use it.
That was like a cool quote.
That's a great part.
Yeah, that was a cool quote, to be honest with you. He's basically saying, like, they can't take what you got up here. They can take away your license to do it, but you still always have that knowledge, which that could be said for almost
power, baby.
Right. That it could be said for almost anything you learn in life. Like that phrase or statement could be applied to that. So it was good. That was a good scene right there. So I guess we're gonna have to wait to talk about the ending till next week. Hopefully, you got like 6 days to finish 2 episodes, maybe 3. Yeah, I think you get it done. That's not so bad. 3 50-minute episodes or 2, you should be able to get it done. I have a show that I literally binge watched over this last week, and it was
how many episodes?
It's like 10.
Wow.
And it's a fairly new show, which I normally don't do because I can see this show running on, and I'll get into it. What's it on? Prime. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called From, and it's from the either directors or producers of Lost, or the writers. Like one of those guys that created Lost, basically created this show. And
Bad Robot, is that it?
I don't know.
I think that was like one of the creators. Companies.
And I'm not sure. Whoever ones that did Lost, they did this show. That's all I know. Whether it's the writers or I think it's the writers.
Okay.
But if it's not, I apologize. But the people that made Lost made this. It's on Prime. It's 10 episodes, but the new season just came out this weekend. And I normally don't want to start a show because if it's going to go multiple seasons, then I have to wait for it. And I'd rather binge watch a show like this, especially when I recently binge watched Lost only a few years ago because of the pandemic. And it's good I did it because the show itself, Lost, was really good. I didn't like the ending, and it kind of ruined it for me.
I don't know if it... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you could go. I mean, that's just what I was going to say. It just ruined it for me.
Yeah, for Lost, I don't know if it ruined it for me, but the ending definitely left a bitter taste, for sure. Just like how you get into all this stuff and you get invested, and it's like, it didn't really matter that much. But, the show overall definitely held my interest. It was a fun ride. So definitely, I guess, learn to appreciate it more. But I'm sorry, you were saying.
No, it's
from.
yeah, you're right. Well, I kind of want to like put the two together, kind of, because I already see without spoiling it for anybody that like From is almost going to be exactly like Lost, just as different storyline.
Different medium or something.
Right, because like you said, I like Lost too. It was a good. There were some lulls in the show, especially towards the last couple seasons. I think it was like 6 seasons or 7. So like the last 2 seasons were probably like a little too much of nonsense for me. But that's why I'm weary about From, because I don't want it to go to 6 seasons and then they hit us with like the ending like almost like it was with Lost, where like they left you like you get to determine what this ending of the show was. Were they dead? Were they alive? Like whatever. In Lost, like if they do that from and like I don't want to like do any spoilers because like the show's still going on or whatever, and you haven't seen it yet, but I want you to see the first season. It's 10 episodes, so maybe after you're on it, you could start watching it because I want your take on it. But they already started to hint at, and only reason why I caught it is because I knew the guys that did Lost did this. So like there was like a little scene where they almost mentioned almost something similar to the end of Lost, where like, are we already dead? Are they already dead? Are they not? And like if I see that at the end again, and I wasted watching like 5 or 6 seasons of this show for like the same kind of ending, I'm probably gonna be really upset, you know. So, but with that being said, the first season of From was pretty good. Like it's got its action,
Nice.
horror, drama, suspense. It's got a little bit of everything, kind of like Lost. Just basically, you're not on an island and you're in a town.
Okay. Change the setting.
Yeah, and like it's just a different premise altogether. I really don't want to ruin it too much, but it's a as of right now, the first season was a good writing job and a good eye catcher.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that drew me into Lost, and pretty much a lot of different shows and programs is, you know, if you good versus evil done right, I mean, what's not to like? It's a tale as old as time.
Agreed.
Older than time, actually.
Agreed.
Sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. It's just I don't want them to like. I'm the type of person like if you're gonna do all this good writing on a show, finish it at the end. Give us a definitive ending.
I'm a big fan of endings. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Game of Thrones messed that up. Sopranos to me messed that up.
Well, Game of Thrones is different, I guess, because they got to a certain point where they were freestyling, you know, just
Agreed.
Making their own
Agreed.
story.
But write a good ending.
But Sopranos, like, again, that's another show where it's like I kind of feel like it's definitive what happens at the end.
Well, they left it to your kind of imagination. Like I might think something different than you might think the same thing, but
What do you think?
we pull someone off the street like, no, they didn't die.
What do you think?
Oh no, I think they died.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right.
Oh boy.
Right, but some
luck.
people are like, no, and maybe they didn't. Like that's why he fades to black. He wants to leave it up to each individual to do that, which I guess that could be cool.
Open to interpretation.
Yeah, I guess that could be cool. But for me, that's more lazy writing than just, okay, if you want us to think he's dead, show that scene. That scene would be crazy. And no one says you have to kill the whole family. Maybe just go up there and, you know.
Pop Tony.
Yeah, exactly. You pop Tony and that's it. And then there's a whole mass hysteria in there and the family's going crazy and everything like that. And then it ends. Like, don't just leave it up to your imagination. That's kind of what they did with Lost too. And, you know, I hope they don't do it From, because From seems to me to be like a really cool kind of show. Like if they only do 2 seasons and then they do that, you know, that's fine. But if they're gonna drag it on and make it like Lost a little bit, where like it starts to trail off and they're doing all this wild stuff they don't need to do, and then they just cut you off, and it's like, okay, you know, you decide what you want to do with the ending. Just write a good ending. That's all we want. If you're gonna write all these good episodes and keep you hanging all this time, just finish it off. If they're that good at writing the show, you could write a good ending. That's just my opinion. You know?
No, I agree.
So, I don't know. To me, that's pretty much all I got for the shows. The only movies we got going on right now is in a couple weeks. I think it's next weekend would be Guardians of the Galaxy. Not too far behind that well, let me just touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy it's gonna be probably pretty sad because it's their last movie that they're all gonna do. So there's gonna be some deaths in there.
Okay.
The rumors are Rocket's gone and Drax might be gone. I hope that's not true because I liked Rocket. But if it's their last one for the trilogy and that's all they're gonna do, you're almost guaranteed to see some if not a few go. So be prepared for that. You know, it's gonna be some sad parts in that movie. Hopefully it's really good. We'll see in a couple weeks and we'll give you, I guess, our opinions on that in a few weeks.
Speaking of another show,
what do you got?
I'm almost done with Last of Us.
Oh, it's about time.
Yeah. I'm on the last episode. I think I have about like 20 minutes left.
Oh my god.
It's
20 minutes?
It's so good. Like obviously Pedro Pascal, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Great actor, money and everything. So he's been brilliant. But the girl, I think, is like the real star. Man, she's just great, and just enjoyed the ride and just all the scenes that are from the game and just like where you have deja vu all over.
So you played the game?
Oh yeah, I played both.
So is a lot of that show in the game? Because I heard there's two games.
It's shot. A lot of the scenes are shot just as the same as the game.
But there's two of them, right?
Yeah.
So are they pulling from both games,
No,
or
only the first one? I think.
Okay, all right, cool.
I could be wrong on that, but yeah. So looking forward to the conclusion of that. I kind of think I know what happens, but even just like you've seen all of it.
Yes.
The last episode where it's like the beginning is like right when she's born. That part's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched it like twice.
You watched that part twice,
Yeah.
but you couldn't finish the episode.
No, I haven't gotten up to that yet.
Maybe we finish the episode first and then go back and watch that scene.
No, I think what happened was I stopped it, and then somehow I went back.
Gotcha. You want to see what you last saw.
I was manipulating time pretty much. I just
Right.
rewound it a little bit.
Or you're probably more likely you fell asleep on the couch.
That's also possible.
And when you turned it on, you're like, I don't remember this. Let me rewind it.
That does happen often.
And you remember that part, but you know what? That part was pretty good. That scene. I'll watch that again, and then we'll move forward.
Yeah.
And then that extra 10 minutes was the reason why you didn't get to watch the last 20.
When I usually do decide to sit down and watch something, it's always a possibility.
I hear you. You have long days. You know what I mean? We both do, so I get it. I might fall asleep watching a show tonight, so I don't blame you. I only called you out on that because I'm a victim of habit too. I do the same thing. I don't remember where I left off, and I rewind that was a good scene. I'll watch that again, and then go forward. So I don't blame you. I'm just calling it out. That's all. Letting everyone know we're only human. We're only human when it comes to shows and other things. But
Happy belated Earth Day, by the way.
Oh, that's right. What was that? Sunday?
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. There you go. Saturday wasn't a bad day too, so it was a good Earth Day. The rain at night was bad, but we need rain, so it's good. What else you got? Anything else before you got any music?
I'll throw you. Let's do 3 music suggestions.
And then any restaurants that you have eaten
but
at?
before that, my friend just texted me about Barry. Do you watch Barry?
Oh yeah, watch Barry.
I haven't seen the new season. What is it
4?
It's 2 episodes in.
I think so, because I was gonna watch it and I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I see the same thing. I'm really looking forward to Barry. Barry's a great show, but
Yep.
I also want to let it build up a little bit.
Me too.
It's a half hour.
Yes, you needed to go
I
5
do
or
love,
60.
I do love that it's a half hour, but it's a great show.
It's too quick. You can't watch that every week because by the time you sit down and watch it, the 25 to 26 minutes is over, and you're like, damn, what happens next week? I'll probably let it rock until the season's over.
Yeah. So shout out to my buddy Stiff Leg Stilly for just texting me about that great show. Okay, yeah. So for the 3 music picks this week, we're gonna go with Currency and Jermaine Dupri for Motivational Use Only, Volume 1. It's a good record. You should check it it out. And we're gonna go with Ninth Wonder with Zion 8. It's just a crazy project. Beats are, you know, on another level for sure. And for third, we're gonna go with the Mussolini and John Dutch, Gentlemen of Leisure. Definitely check it out, and let me know what you think.
All right. Once again, leave comments if you listen to any of the music or any of the shows or anything else. We have an Instagram, don't we now? At Kings of Opinion. So you can check that out. Leave comments there as well. I don't know if we have videos up there yet, but if we can put it up there, we will, or if just clips. But go hit Instagram or Twitter and leave some comments there as well, especially if you listen to any of the stuff. Give us your opinions. If you got stuff for us to throw on this show, definitely do that as well. Do you have any places we want these guys to eat?
I don't have that.
Okay. What do you got then?
What I'm reading to right now.
Oh, there we go.
Lock and Key by Joe Hill and who's the other fellow? I know you said you saw the show, but I'm reading the graphic novel.
Bam Bam Johnson?
His name is, definitely got it. Gabriel Rodriguez. Sorry about that. He's the illustrator. Some beautiful art. Joe Hill, who's actually Stephen King's son. I'm not sure if you knew that.
No, did not.
Yeah. So
Steve Hill?
I just told you his name is Joe Hill.
Oh, Joe Hill, Steve Hill.
Sorry. So yeah, I'm really digging that, and so yeah, that's all about that.
Cool. I'll never read that graphic novel.
Yes, we know you don't like to read.
Correct. However, I could say that the show is pretty cool, and if the show is anything as good as the book, and you like to read or you like to read graphic novels and all that, definitely check that out, because they do say that the book is normally better than the shows or movies. Not every time, but I would say 8 or 9 times out of 10, the book is always better than the movies. You get a lot more out of the book. So please definitely check that out, because the show was kind of wacky and cool. It's a great concept with all these keys that do different things, yada, yada, yada. I like the show. I watched it a few years ago. I think the show's over. I think they only did 2 seasons.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah, maybe 3 on Netflix. But it was cool. It was worth the watch. So
Like I named Akira. You don't see that every day.
I guess you don't. But definitely check that stuff out. Once again, leave comments if you can. I guess you got nowhere to eat. I only got one place to eat today.
Let's hear it.
Tony's Tacos. There's 3 of them. Franklin Square, Huntington, and I guess you could say Floral Park or New Hyde Park.
What is your favorite taco at?
Oof, that's tough. They got a lot of good stuff there.
Give me a couple faves.
Okay, I love the steak tacos with the queso cheese in it. It's absolutely amazing. They have great queso cheese there, by the way.
That sounds good.
Absolutely
I
amazing.
think you can just say queso.
Queso. Got it. The Chicken Club is great. If you like fish tacos, they have great fish tacos, even though I'm not a big fish fan. People I have liked it.
I definitely want to try the octopus fries every time I see the menu.
You should.
I gotta just try this.
You should try it, because I'm sure it's amazing. Like I don't know what everything is on it, because I bypassed that, but I'm sure whatever they have on it is absolutely amazing. So definitely check that place out. It's pretty reasonable in price as well. Takeout, dine in. They also have margaritas there and beers, which is also good. Yeah, churros, desserts look good too. No complaints there. Great spot, Tony's Tacos. It's a little different type of taco place. I believe the son of Umberto's opened that up. So he's got 3 locations now, so he's doing well. And it's a great idea for a taco place. With that being said, we're gonna hit up our man Amish Doshi. If you're looking for good legal advice or any kind of legal needs, such as starting a new business, closing, bankruptcy, wills, personal injury, and more, definitely contact him. He's in the tri-state area, so if you're around, he'll travel, he'll meet up with you, he'll do what he has to do to help you out. Great guy. His phone number is 516-622 2335, or his website is doshilegal.com. Well, I guess that's about to wrap it up, Wanderer. Any last remarks for you?
Yeah, just, thank you for your time as always, folks, and be kind to yourself.
All right. With that being said, that wraps it up from the Wandering Pug Studios. Episode 6 is in the books. We'll see you next week, folks. Have a great night and enjoy your week. We'll see you soon.